Coming up right now on Marlborough This Week, an apartment fire on Main Street sends 4 residents to the hospital. 3 suspects involved in a March 2011 home invasion have been convicted. Also, the Marlborough High School hockey team looks to advance to the district finals. We will let you know how they did. These stories and more are coming up right now on Marlborough This Week. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Alicia Brandt. We begin with details about a 3-alarm fire which occurred overnight on March 6th. A 3-alarm fire on Tuesday, March 6th at the Liberty Hill Apartments senior housing complex on Main Street sent 4 people to the hospital and caused a building evacuation of 100 residents.
The box was struck just a little after 2:30 in the morning, and the all-out went in about 7:30, but we maintained a fire detail on the scene to assist with residents, helping them to get back into their apartments and just in case anything else flared up.
When firefighters arrived, smoke was showing from an apartment on the 3rd floor on the Windsor Street side of the building.
I got called in, when the box was struck, I got called in, and I was originally coordinating responses from mutual aid, etc. Then we had 2 out-of-town companies come in to cover. We had a Hopkinton Engine Company and an ambulance from Natick.
The towns of Hudson, Southborough, Sudbury, Northborough, Berlin, and Framingham were also called in to assist in fire control and the evacuation of the building. 3 people were transported by ambulance with injuries related to smoke inhalation. 2 went to UMass Medical Center Worcester, and 1 went to UMass Memorial Marlborough. 2 residents were treated and released, and 1 person remained at UMass. 1 person did drive himself to UMass Memorial in Marlborough, where he was also treated and released. The cause of the fire was determined an accident, and the damage estimate is in excess of $300,000. Mayor Arthur Vigent released a statement commending the departments on their response. On March 2, 2011, a disagreement over an ex-girlfriend led to a home invasion and assault. 1 year later, the 3 suspects in this case have pleaded guilty and in turn have received prison time. Azadeek Blidgen of Maynard, Jonathan Soucy of Northborough, and Brandon Place of North Carolina have all pleaded guilty to armed home invasion, assault and battery with a deadly weapon, and assault and battery. The 3 gained entry into the home by impersonating police officers, and once inside, Soucy punched one of the victims. Blidgen attacked another with a crowbar, severely breaking his leg. In Place, although he did not physically touch the victims, admitted to taunting them with a baseball bat. Both Soucy and Blidgen have been given a state prison sentence of 4 to 5 years, followed by 5 years probation. In Place has been sentenced to 2.5 years in a house of corrections with 5 years probation. On Monday, March 5th, Dakota Ayubi and Jason Sewell of Marlborough were arrested and charged with kidnapping and armed assault with a firearm. Authorities say that the men kidnapped a man who owed Ayubi drug money by picking him up in an SUV and locking him inside with child safety locks. They then demanded money, and one of them flashed a gun. Sewell and Ayubi did not harm the man and eventually returned him to his car on Fay Road in Framingham. Ayubi and Sewell are being held without bail until each face a dangerousness hearing, where it is under the judge's discretion to grant them bail or not. On Wednesday night, the Marlborough Panther hockey team faced the Wachusett Mountaineers in the semifinals for the right to play at the DCU Center for the state championship. The game was tight throughout the first 2 periods, but unfortunately, Wachusett pulled away in the 3rd. The final score was 6-4. Stay tuned after the news for Hey What's the Score, and Nick the intern will bring you the full recap. During the Finance Committee meeting on Monday, March 5th, a $13 million loan was approved to help with projects around the city. This $13 million saves the city of Marlborough $3.5 million because when the first capital bond request was set last year, the request was at $16.5 million. The $13 million will cover various street construction projects, installation of water meters for industrial facilities, and upgrades to a water treatment plant. The loan requests that were denied will be sent over to Mayor Arthur Vigent to be considered for payment by means of the City of Marlborough's savings account. In addition, a $500,000 loan for a new pumper truck was denied until a permanent fire chief is hired to make a recommendation. Still to come on Marlborough This Week, voters hit the polls earlier this week to cast their votes on Super Tuesday. We have local reaction. But first, if you don't know who the candidates are for the next Marlborough High School principal position, stick around and we'll introduce you to them. We'll be right back after this break.
Really? Buzz, what's up, man? You left some leaves burning out here.
Yeah, I just came in just for a second.
Come on, man. If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. You could torch the whole neighborhood.
It's a good point there, Smokey.
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. The search for a new principal at Marlborough High School has been narrowed down to 2 candidates.
I've been doing this for just on 30 years. I've done elementary for 7 years. I've done high school for 11 years. I've done middle school for 11 years. So for good or for bad, there's very little that I haven't seen.
Craig Hardiman is currently the principal at R.J. Gray Junior High School in Acton, Massachusetts. His past jobs include special education, teaching ethics and history, and serving as a housemaster. He believes that parents play an important role in their child's education.
Because I really believe that as good as we may be as educators and as experienced as we may be as administrators, parents are the experts. Parents are the ones who've known the students the longest. Parents are the ones that the kids come home to. So we need that open communication. We need that partnership with parents for us to be able to do our jobs very well.
The second candidate is Dr. Chris Lord, current principal of Shea High School of the Pawtucket School District. One of his philosophies is the importance of breaking the barrier between books and individual students.
I hate saying this, but I have to. High school teachers teach subjects, they don't teach students. Well, not in my school, they teach both, okay? They have passions for their subject. I'm guilty of it too. I am a science person. I loved teaching science when I was there. And sometimes I forgot I was teaching a person too. And until I started doing these personality tests with kids and started realizing there's a person in front of me and that I needed to teach the person too, then I changed my way of instruction. And now, since I've been doing this for the last 20 years as an administrator, it really helps me to see that that's the way to go for high schools.
He believes trust is an important part of the school system.
Because that trust is really key. It's at the heart of what we want to do. And you know, as soon as you get people's hearts, the minds follow. And the same is with kids, okay? I mean, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
A final decision is expected to be announced sometime next week. We will keep you updated on any new developments. On Tuesday, Marlborough was one of 10 states that hit the polls for the Super Tuesday primary. Mitt Romney won big here in the city, as well as the rest of the state.
Marlborough was very decisively carried by Governor Romney, and as was the state. And the interesting thing is that he got such a high percentage of the vote that even though delegates for Massachusetts are supposed to be proportional, none of the other candidates qualified. So Governor Romney actually swept all 41 delegates for the state of Massachusetts convention. So he'll have the whole hometown, home state slate ready for him.
Of the 3,332 votes cast, 1,780 went to Romney, with Senator Rick Santorum a distant second. Turnout for the primary was 16%, but with President Barack Obama unchallenged in a city made up of mostly Democrats and unenrolled voters, that number may be a little deceiving.
Because there really was no contest on the Democratic side. I mean, really was no reason to pull a ballot. And in terms of turnout in the Republican primary, this is one of the highest turnouts that I've seen in my 10 years tracking this here in the city of Marlborough. So we had a pretty substantial turnout for a primary that a lot of people were expecting to go to Governor Romney.
And although Romney has a large delegate lead at this point, Farrow believes this race is far from over.
There's still a long ways to go because the Republican National Committee chose to do the majority of the primaries, especially in the early going, as proportional, meaning you get 15% of the vote, you get 15% of the delegates. You're going to see a little longer calendar you might have seen in years past when traditionally Republicans have had winner-take-all primaries. So this probably will not be over until possibly the beginning of May, even June.
Romney is clearly the hometown favorite on the Republican side. But is there any chance in the general election that Romney could beat President Obama here in Massachusetts?
Anything's possible. Republicans have come very close. Ronald Reagan carried the state twice. The first President Bush actually came within a few thousand votes of being the home state governor in 1988. So anything's possible.
Just under a year after Fidelity announced plans to leave the city, Framingham-based TJX Companies announced earlier this week that it will purchase 2 of the Fidelity buildings in Marlborough. Although nothing is official yet, in a statement from TJX, a purchase and sale agreement has been signed for 300 and 400 Puritan Way. The Boston Globe is reporting that the TJX Corporation has agreed to pay $72 million for the facilities. The buildings will house certain home office operations and will provide space for future growth. Fidelity announced it was leaving Marlborough last March, forcing 1,100 employees to relocate out of the city.
It's very exciting for us. It's a culmination of a lot of work. We've been working with the mayor's office on this since last July. I think it was July or August when the mayor first asked us to really focus on this issue. It involves, a lot of preliminary negotiations with the parties. We realize this isn't done. We realize that this matter needs to be scrutinized by the city council, which I'm sure they've always been very good about reviewing these really thoroughly. I know that the city council president, Trish Pope, has been involved with the process to this point. She's on our board. So we're hoping that works well. We're really hoping that this will really, that if this works, it'll really lead to a whole bunch of other connections with this company. We hope that the company, if they are moving pieces of the company here, and it's my understanding they're moving the headquarters here, that they'll be continuing to, in their future growth, to be growing here in Marlborough and to be engaging and integrated into the community.
The American Red Cross will be holding 2 blood drives at Masonic Hall this month. The blood drives will take place on Wednesday, March 14th and Wednesday, March 28th from 2:30 to 7:30 p.m. These drives are open to the public and residents from all surrounding towns are invited to participate. Appointments are preferred, but walk-in donors are also welcome. For more details, go to redcrossblood.org. Marlborough has finally had its own taste of spring. With temperatures in the 60s on Thursday, the nice weather has residents aching for the spring season. Although the weekend does look to be cool, next week the temperatures look to be on the rise again. With multiple days in the upper 50s, maybe spring has sprung.
Oh, I love it. She misses the snow. She got really upset whenever it keeps melting. She's like, is the snow melting yet? So she was having fun playing in it, but I'm glad that it's gone.
Thank you for watching Marlborough This Week. Please be sure to like WMCT-TV on Facebook. And as always, tune in next week for more in Marlborough News. I'm Alicia Brandt. Have a great week. Coming up right now on Marlborough This Week, the City Council has approved the new curbside container trash pickup program. Superintendent Anthony Pope has made his pick for the next principal of Marlborough High School, and a new theater troupe debuts its first production next weekend at the First Congregational Church. These stories and more coming up right now on Marlborough This Week. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Alicia Brandt. We begin this week with some news about the Marlborough High School principal search. Superintendent Anthony Pope has named Craig Hardiman as Marlborough's final candidate for the high school principalship next year. The search for a new principal began when current principal Deborah Roy announced she would retire at the end of the 2011-2012 school year. Hardiman is currently the principal of Acton's Raymond J. Gray High School, where he has served for the past 5 years with experience in both special needs education and urban education and administration. A decision will be made on his candidacy once an interview team has visited with Hardiman's current school. Although Hardiman is the only candidate right now, there will still be a rigorous process to make sure he is the right fit for the school. A new principal means the end of Deb Roy's time at Marlborough High School. Deb Roy has been a staple at Marlborough High School since 1979. Before being named principal 4 years ago, she was a math teacher. Her love for the students and staff is obvious.
I've had the opportunity to work with wonderful kids. There's nothing better than being able to explain mathematics to students so they understand it. And I've worked with great teachers. I've had some great mentors over the years. And in my role as principal now, I get to work with the staff and get to find out why we're so good is because of the staff we have here at Marlborough High School.
In retirement, Deb is looking forward to returning to her first love, teaching math.
One of the things I plan to do is go back to teach math on a part-time basis. Teaching math has always been where my heart is, so I'm looking forward to have some opportunities to do that.
Whitcomb Middle School auditorium will be getting some much-needed upgrades. The council on Monday approved nearly $500,000 for repairs to the outdated room. The money will be used to replace the old seats, install a new floor, sound system, lighting, and a paint job. The current auditorium dates back to when the building was originally built. There is no date set for the project to begin. Also on Monday, the council approved a new trash program for Marlborough. The city will now use a municipal container system for recycling. Each home will receive 2 containers, one for trash and one for recycling. The program is expected to begin sometime this spring. It's been a few years since Marlborough has had its own theater troupe. Now, the wait is over. A new theater troupe, Ghost Light Players, debuts its first production, Almost Maine, next weekend at the First Congregational Church in Marlborough. The troupe offers a place for members of the Metro West community to experience and enjoy the theatrical arts. And for theater lovers, Kim and Kat, Marlborough was the perfect place to start their company.
When we were first putting the idea together of Ghost Light Players, Kim and I were talking about trying to find a space somewhere in this area. Kim lives in Marlborough, and she's a member of the First Church of Marlborough. And it ended up being very kismet, because the Men's Fellowship at the First Church of Marlborough had been looking to expand a little bit into the community and had been talking about maybe having some sort of community theater group here. They knew Kim because she's a member of the church, and when they heard that she did theater, they approached her and said, would this be something that you'd be interested in? And it just so happened that at the same time, she and I were talking about setting up our own theater troupe.
Ghost Light Players is a unique company because of the way it handles theater. Most companies rely heavily on costumes and sets, while Ghost Light Players relies specifically on the quality of the performance.
We started Ghost Light Players as kind of a tribute to the old style theater troupes, maybe ones you'd find in the Wild West, more of a vaudevillian kind of feel. We really want to focus on performance, the quality of the performance, and less with the distracting aspect of theater like sets and costume.
The new troupe held auditions for their Almost Maine production in January, bringing in different talent from all over the Metro West. The cast consists of 8 members, and each seems to be enjoying their membership with Ghost Light Players thus far.
The Ghost Light Players are surprisingly well organized and well oiled for something that's just starting out. So one, it's kind of nice to be the first show of the group, hopefully a group that really survives and thrives. And on top of that, I just think, like I said, it's just a little bit surprising to have such great directions, both stage and acting, and to have everything moving quite as smoothly as it does. We're all, pretty drama-free, yet it's drama.
Ghost Light Players is also looking to have a summer Shakespearean performance outside on the church greens. But be sure to attend their debut production March 23rd, 24th, and 25th at the First Congregational Church. Tickets may be purchased before the show or at the door. For more information, visit ghostlightplayers.com. If you're in need of medical care, but unfortunately you don't have the insurance, there is now a Metro West clinic open that can help you out. After 11 years of service, the Open Door Free Medical Program in Hudson closed this past December. For those patients affected, a Metro West Free Medical Program is available in Framingham and Sudbury.
And we decided to open up a clinic which would be open to anybody in the Metro West area, or the greater Metro West area, who was uninsured or underinsured, who for whatever reasons couldn't access health care.
A Jewish temple by day and a free health clinic by night, any patient seeking medical attention can walk into Congregation Beth El and receive treatment.
We see people who are new to the country. We see people who have enormous copays and at the moment can't afford them. We see people who are in between jobs. One of the things we like to do the most is do work physicals for people so that they can get back to work, because then they get back to work and then they can get their own insurance. When we started the first year or so, we had maybe 8 to 15 patients a night. Now we have between 40 and 50 patients a night.
The Metro West Free Medical Program is completely volunteer-based and receives no state or federal funds. Services are made possible by donations and citizens willing to donate their time. To learn more about the program, visit metrowestfreemedicalprogram.org. Still to come on Marlborough this week, the Marlborough High School Business Professionals of America team is looking for support to fund their trip to the national competition in Chicago. But first, another building with links to Marlborough's past is being torn down. We'll be right back after this break.
This is Ducky Duck. Ducky Duck is really no different than you and I. You see, Ducky enjoys using Marlborough's rivers, streams, lakes, and ponds for travel, leisure, and even for drinking water. But Ducky needs your help. When humans mistake stormwater drains for sewers, it causes many problems. While sewers are connected to the plumbing in our houses, stormwater catch basins are completely separate and flow directly into our public water supply. Polluted waterways can affect the quality of our drinking water, our wildlife, and the overall health of our city. So when you discard trash, fertilizers, or oils into these drains, it's bad news for Ducky and for you. Help keep our waterways clean.
Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. Recognize this building? Of course not. What was once an old shoe factory and home to the South Middlesex Opportunity Council on East Main Street is now being torn down. Another piece of Marlborough history is being leveled in order to pursue further city improvements. The building and the plaza behind it are being raised to make way for a TD Bank. The site will also include a green area on the corner with a bench and monument from the Historical Society commemorating the old factory. Demolition is expected to be finished by early next week. Attention, parents of Marlborough High School students and alumni. The students are looking for your help. 16 Marlborough High School Business Professionals of America students are eligible to compete at the National Leadership Conference in Chicago, Illinois in late April.
Business Professionals of America is a national organization that's purpose is to allow high school students to prepare for the workforce.
Business Professionals of America students compete in various areas including global marketing, economics, presentation management, and human resources.
I love BPA. I've learned a lot. I got to practice my advanced interview skills. I got to practice my accounting testing, and I also qualified in my global marketing team.
At the past state leadership conference, Marlborough BPA students walked away with 17 awards, including 4 first place, 8 second place, and 3 third place.
Business Professionals of America at Marlborough High School is a club, and our students compete at the state level and at the national level. But you have to understand that our students compete against regional high schools. They compete against vocational high schools. So as a club, our students really excel.
Each student is dedicated and works hard for their achievements in BPA.
Business Professionals of America is a great club to join. It's really challenging, but all the work we put into it makes it really good. What we do is we work together to achieve our goals. Like in my economic research team, it's me and 3 other people, and we achieved 2nd place, which qualifies us for national, which will be a wonderful experience to look forward to.
The cost to attend nationals is $800. In order to offset the cost, Marlborough High School's BPA team is seeking sponsorships and donations for their national competition. Contact BPA advisor Jane Halley at 508-460-3500 to support this team. Last week at Jarrick Elementary School, friends and family gathered for a pretty special night for the students. Last Friday night, the Jarrick PTO sponsored its annual pasta dinner.
The PTO works together with the teachers and the community leaders to put together this event. We try to do a few events every year from the PTO that are more community building. So today, this session we have the mayor, the superintendent, school committee members, city councilors, along with teachers and parent volunteers helping out to make it a great night.
The event included a pasta dinner catered by Buffet Way, a DJ and dancing in the gym, and a 50-50 raffle.
This is a K-4 school. We have 726 students here at Jarwick School. This event is dedicated mostly to 3rd grade students who are our servers, and they clean up. There are waiters and waitresses this evening. They really take ownership of this event, and they take quite a lot of pride in this event.
Mayor Arthur Vidden was among one of those several volunteer servers.
Well, obviously, I've been down here the last few years. I get a call and
It's a great way to get involved in the school a little bit and give a little bit back, and it's a lot of fun serving the kids and the parents and the grandparents that come down.
The pasta dinner is one of the largest community building events the PTO sponsors. With close to 400 parents and children in attendance, the dinner is a popular Marlborough tradition. Best-selling author Stephen Davis will be at the library this Wednesday to talk about his new biography about a rock and roll icon.
I had some dreams, they were clouds in my coffee, clouds in my coffee, and you're so brave.
Carly Simon is a rock and roll legend, and her music is still popular today. Her personal life may be just as interesting and also make for great reading.
She still is a very popular singer, and throughout her life she's had some controversy with her marriage to James Taylor and rumored affairs and rumors of drugs, not by her but by James Taylor, and lots of interesting side stories with their lives together.
Stephen Davis's new book, More Room in a Broken Heart, chronicles the life of Simon, but this isn't his first rock and roll biography.
He had an international bestseller in the 80s called Hammer of the Gods, and that was about Led Zeppelin. And also he's rumored to be the ghost writer for Michael Jackson's international bestseller, Moonwalk, as well.
Although his books are popular, he is not loved by all critics.
Stephen Davis is very controversial. He's had a number of people poorly review his book and say that he has plagiarized the book. And is a cut and paste hack job, is how some people put it. And then other people absolutely love it. People who love rock biographies have said that this was a very interesting story and eye-opening. So he's a very controversial author, very, very different.
Stephen Davis will be at the library Wednesday night at 7 to talk about his new book and to talk about his interesting career. Thank you for watching Marlborough This Week. Coming up next is Hey, What's the Score with Nick the Intern. Please be sure to like us on Facebook. I'm Alicia Brandt for WMCT-TV. Have a great week. Coming up right now on Marlborough This Week, Aspet is looking to embark on a $62.4 million remodeling project. Marlborough High School students are headed to a National Engineering Championship in Washington, D.C. Also, the Conservation Commission is launching its first community garden in May. These stories and more are coming up right now on Marlborough This Week. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Alicia Brandt. We begin our coverage with a group of Marlborough High School students who are headed to our nation's capital, hoping to bring home a championship. For the second year, Marlborough High School students will be competing for a National Engineering Championship in Washington, D.C. This competition allows students to undertake a design project, usually presented in a professional setting. This year, the 12 students are to design a light sport aircraft that could carry 2 adults 200 miles in less than 2 hours using green technology.
They wanted us to design the fuselage and the wings, and as well as make it fuel efficient and eco-friendly. Later on in the challenge, they provided us with a fuselage, which is the body of the plane. But we'd already designed our own, so instead of taking the one they gave us, we just used our own fuselage, and that actually got us some extra because they liked that we used something that we designed rather than something they designed.
The team has been working on the project since the fall and have been meeting weekly to collaborate, test, and mock up designs for their small aircraft. In the state competition, they earned 448 points out of the possible 500. Students say that they like their chances this year going into the national competition.
5 returning students, and we have 7 additional students for a total of 12 students, and they're all working hard on the project. And it's been really smooth. We have a lot of teacher support, Miss Stephanie Hallett, our mentor, Bob Stetson from the airport, and they've been extremely helpful. We hope we can do the absolute best we can possibly do. We're trying to win, and that's our goal.
This competition highlights the talent at Marlborough High School in the field of science and technology.
We have a great school system. We have we have a great principal and a great learning education system, and it's good. We don't always get recognized for it, so it's good to be able to show that, you know, Marlborough High School is a great school, and we have some great students here.
The national competition is on April 20th. We will keep you updated on the outcome. Jorge Santos of Marlborough was arrested earlier this week on several weapon and drug charges after being pulled over for speeding on Route 9 in Natick. Officers found brass knuckles, a spring-loaded knife, and pepper spray, along with a number of prescription drugs. Santos pleaded not guilty and is due back in court May 1st. Assabet Valley Regional Technical High School is looking to get a facelift, and they're giving you the chance to provide feedback. Assabet Valley Regional Technical High School is looking to get the ball rolling on a $62.4 million renovation project. Almost half is to be paid for by a special grant, with the remainder coming from the school's member communities. All 7 communities must approve the project before June 30th, or the grant will be withdrawn. Public information sessions are being held to inform the public about the project. For Marlborough residents, there will be an information session at 7 p.m. on March 26th in the Assabet Valley Auditorium. The initial approval for a tax deal with TJX Companies, which will soon take over the Fidelity buildings, has been passed through the City Council Finance Subcommittee. The tax incrementing finance deal needs to pass through a full City Council, would give the Framingham-based discount retailer a break on its property taxes for the next 20 years. The company's move to Marlborough will bring 1,600 jobs to the city and an increase of $1.5 million in tax revenue. Is someone close to you struggling with Alzheimer's disease or dementia? There's a place in town called Pleasantries where they can engage, be social, and live life to the fullest. If you know or have a loved one that is coping with Alzheimer's or dementia, Pleasantries of Marlborough is a great place for them to spend their days and be social.
Do you want to do 3 blues, or do you want to...
Owner Terry Ricky opened Pleasantries in order to give people with Alzheimer's a warm home environment where everyone is welcome and guests are able to live a richer and fuller life.
Opened Pleasantries 3.5 years ago because I found a need. The need was for a social model program for folks living with a memory impairment, like with Alzheimer's or other dementia. And what I found was that these places that are out there, they're needed along the continuum of care, but that the people in the earlier stages when they were first developing the disease need a place to go to be social, because what happens is people start to isolate. So I designed the program, I bought a home, I renovated it, and now they come daily, Monday through Friday, all day. We do all day activities, we take day trips, we cook our own meals. So that's what we do here at Pleasantries.
Alzheimer's is a difficult disease to live with, and in order to fully manage the sickness, loved ones need to become fully aware of the course. At the end of the month, the Metro West Alzheimer's Partnership is holding an event that will provide concrete advice in managing the challenging behaviors of your loved one with Alzheimer's disease.
Find the program to help caregivers who are dealing with this disease every day, taking care of folks with this disorder at all different stages. And we're hoping to reach a lot of community people, get them in to come in on a Saturday. There's going to be vendors there, exhibitors, displaying what their services are for folks with Alzheimer's disease.
The event will take place in Natick on March 30th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. To RSVP, contact Kelly Payne 08-655-5000 by Monday, March 26th. Still to come on Marlborough this week, 2 Marlborough hikers were rescued from Mount Monadnock in Keene, New Hampshire last Sunday. But first, finding a job may be tough out there these days, but for one group in particular, it's harder than ever. We'll be right back after this break.
Hi, my name's CJ. A few years ago, my father became seriously ill. I did what I could do before he passed, but it took its toll. I lost my job, my house. I'm getting back on my feet, but I don't know when there'll be food on the table. How'd I do, CJ?
We could be twins.
Well, cousins, maybe.
play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. Teen unemployment is off the charts in this tough economy. Partnerships for a skilled workforce are looking to change that. Teens are among the hardest hit in this recession. Nearly 3 out of 4 teens is unable to find work. Partnerships for a Skilled Workforce is a nonprofit workforce development company who work with young adults and adults to better prepare them for the workforce. The group recently held a summit here in Marlborough to discuss youth unemployment and what can be done to help teens that are feeling the trickle-down effect from the overall job market.
When you're looking at young adults, they're usually the last ones to get jobs. If you look at any grocery store, you'll see that many older adults are still in the workforce, but you've also got college graduates not actually getting at this point in time. And then you've got immigrants that have really opened up that whole service industry with landscape services and house cleaning and a lot of the other jobs, entry-level jobs that young adults used to take.
Bob Howard from the AFL-CIO is the chair of the Young Adult Initiative Board. He stresses that their goal is not to just find low-paying seasonal jobs, but to give these kids the skills needed to pursue an actual career.
And we're not talking about a handout, we're talking about giving young people a hand, helping them create new jobs and create careers and getting into the workforce today, which has been very, very difficult. But this board's done a great job, trying to put together the resources to create these opportunities and programs. And, it wouldn't happen if it wasn't for the businesses in the community. And we really, applaud the businesses that step up to the plate, that give these young people an opportunity. We're trying to invest in young people, and by doing that, we're also investing in our communities and investing in our businesses.
With the extreme competitiveness of the job market, for teens, presentation is key.
So if you're looking to get a job, you need to be at your best. You need to dress for success. You need to go in with collared shirt, nice pants, or skirt, nice shirt, and you really need to impress somebody with a resume. A lot of times when you're looking at jobs, a lot of it is done online now for applications. So it's really looking at those questions and making sure you're answering them correctly. And also networking. A lot of times people get jobs through knowing somebody. And it's real important to be able to tell people that you are really looking for a job.
On March 18th, 2 Marlborough hikers ascended Mount Monadnock, but they could not make it down before being enveloped in darkness. Joseph Weiner and Allison Smith, both of Marlborough, were rescued by New Hampshire Fish and Game Conservation officers on Sunday when they were overcome by darkness during their afternoon hike of Mount Monadnock in Keene, New Hampshire. The 2 began their climb at 2:30 p.m. and were found at 9:45 p.m. Neither hiker had a flashlight or headlamp and eventually became stranded. Both were found and were helped down the mountain. Gardeners who are dreaming of more garden space can turn their dreams into a reality by reserving a space in Marlborough's first community garden. The community garden on Stowe Road will be opening for residents in May. Sunny garden plots with rich soil will enable gardeners to grow their own vegetables and flowers. There will be 20 plots available for rent at the low cost of $25 per year. The new garden was created in response to residents' requests and will be located at the Cider Knoll Mellow Family Meadow Conservation Land. Spaces are assigned on a first-come, first-served basis. Interested gardeners should attend the meeting on Thursday, March 29th at 7 p.m. at Marlborough City Hall. Also, the Conservation Commission is looking for volunteers to help prepare the land. Please contact Priscilla Riley at 508-460-3768 volunteer. Thank you for watching Marlborough This Week. Please be sure to like WMCT-TV on Facebook. And as always, tune in next week for more in Marlborough News. I'm Alicia Brandt. Have a great week. Coming up right now on Marlborough This Week, Mayor Arthur Vigent has made his pick for Chief of the Marlborough Fire Department. A 5-day, 170-game National Women's Ice Hockey Tournament is taking place right here in Marlborough. Also, a local company makes a generous donation to a local nonprofit organization. These stories and more are coming up right now on Marlborough This Week. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Alicia Brandt. We begin our coverage with the announcement of Marlborough's new fire chief, James Fortin. Mayor Vigent made his choice public this past Monday at the City Council meeting. Members of the City Council and the Mayor are very happy to have an internal member of the Marlborough Fire Department appointed as chief.
I think having someone internal, Mr. Ford in this case, was significant. He's clearly dedicated to the community. He has great passion for the work, very committed here. Morale has been problematic with the fire department. I think this is a great opportunity to bring in a leader who's going to hopefully restore that morale. Having the contract settled is a big step forward, but having a quality leader, someone who can bring this department forward is really significant, and really, really very proud that Mr. Fortin submitted his name, and glad that he could make the appointment.
Captain James Fortin was named the new fire chief of Marlborough after Mayor Arthur Vigent made his choice public on Monday at the City Council meeting.
It was a pretty long process, and I had put a committee together. They had gone through all the resumes themselves. I never looked at any resumes until they actually sent me the final two. They did an interview process where they interviewed, I believe, 8 or 9 candidates, and Jim was one of the recommendations they came in with, and I think he's going to do a great job down there. Looking forward to working with him. He's a good decision maker, and I really think he's going to do a great job as a Marlborough Fire Chief.
Chief James Fortin has been a member of the Marlborough Fire Department since 1983. He has climbed the ranks, being appointed lieutenant in 1997, to captain in 2006, and now to chief in 2012.
It's a very exciting time right now, being a lifelong resident of the city and growing up here, having my family here, and being a member of this department for 28 years now. It's a very exciting time to be actually the leader of this department.
Chief Fortin has 2 goals as fire chief, both of which show dedication to his city and fellow firefighters.
The main goal is the ability to keep the level of service to the citizens of Marlborough that we are delivering right now. And I said the main goal, but it's probably equal that every firefighter is able to go home and work in a safe environment, and at the end of their duty shift, they're able to go home without any serious injuries.
James Fortin has taken the reins from Deputy Chief Frederick Flynn, who has been serving as acting chief since former fire chief Ricky Plummer resigned in August. Beginning on Wednesday and ending on Sunday, the New England Sports Center was the host of the 2012 National Women's and Girls Ice Hockey Championship, bringing thousands of visitors to the city. As the NCAA Basketball Championship wraps up this weekend, another national tournament will also be wrapping up right here in Marlborough. The best women's hockey players in the country are in town to play in the National Women's and Girls Ice Hockey Championship. 170 games, which include 84 female club teams, will face off this week, looking to win a national title in 7 divisions. Although the tournament usually takes place in larger cities like Buffalo, New York, and Green Bay, Wisconsin, organizers of this event felt that Marlborough would be a perfect fit.
It's a great location. I think out of all the different venues we've had at Nationals in Marlborough, there are more hotels close to the sports center than any other place we've ever been, so that's a big positive aspect to it. And the rink facility is clean and everybody's very hospitable, so it's really been a great fit.
The process to become the host city has been a long one.
Wes and I started 2 years ago. We met, decided what we wanted to do, approached the local people in the jurisdiction, talked to the hotel people, and we put it together.
The tournament is expected to give a big boost to the local economy. The city's hotels, as well as restaurants and stores, should see an increase of traffic this week. But in the end, the charm of the city helped attract organizers to this year's tournament in Marlborough.
Here in Marlborough, it's kind of that nice hockey hometown feeling. Some of our other venues are next to big cities. If you go to a venue that's, right outside of New York City or Los Angeles or Dallas or Philadelphia, then they have that to offer. But it's kind of nice. It's far enough. It's nice to be out here and not be in the thick of a lot of the city traffic, but it's close enough to get to Boston if teams have available time to go in and see Boston. But it's kind of nice to be in just a real hometown hockey neighborhood with a lot of history here.
The tournament runs through Sunday, and Wes Tuttle, general manager of the New England Sports Center, believes hockey fans of all ages will enjoy this event.
Well, when you look at all the families and the children and whatnot, it's a wonderful hockey weekend for them to end their season. It's a national championship. Some children who are 19 years of age, it'll be their last youth tournament. And it's a great way to end the year. And we've worked long and hard to try and give them the best hockey experience that they can have.
After being reviewed by the Finance Committee last week, the full City Council has unanimously approved a deal with TJX Companies that will give the discount retailer a tax break on the properties it plans to buy on Puritan Way. The company will still have to pay the $1.5 million in property taxes the city pulls from the properties. But from 2014 to 2034, the company will not have to pay all of its taxes on the value it adds to the buildings, even after an expected $30 million improvement project. After much debate, the decision regarding a 24-hour ATM at Marlborough Savings Bank on Granger Boulevard has been referred to the Urban Affairs Committee. Currently, the ATM is closed between midnight and 5 a.m. However, the bank is pushing to make it open 24 hours in order to remain competitive. Of the 9 banks in Marlborough, Marlborough Savings Bank is the only bank without a 24-hour ATM. The council also gave preliminary approval to 3 bonds that will fund the first phases of a project that would bring sewers to the largest part of the city whose homes use septic tanks. In the school committee meeting this week, Mayor Arthur Vigent told a packed meeting room full of teachers and students that he is launching an independent review of a January student sit-in during which the superintendent was accused of bullying students. It's that time of year again. Spring has sprung, and it's time for the city of Marlborough to receive its annual spring cleaning. Mayor Arthur Vigent and the City Council invite residents to volunteer for the annual clean sweep that will be taking place on Saturday, April 28th. Participants will receive Project Clean Sweep t-shirts, and refreshments will be served. Arrive by 9 a.m. at the Public Works Department Municipal Garage at 135 Neal Street to help clean up the city. For questions and to sign up, contact Ken Calder at 508-624-6910, extension 7300, or kcalder@marlborough-ma.gov. Still to come on Marlborough This Week. If your child attends Kane Elementary School, the Safe Routes Walking School Bus program has begun again. But first, Employment Options, a local nonprofit organization dedicated to helping others, receives a substantial donation. We'll be right back after this break.
This is Ducky Duck. Ducky Duck is really no different than you and I. You see, Ducky enjoys using Marlborough's rivers, streams, lakes, and ponds for travel, leisure, and even for drinking water. But Ducky needs your help. When humans mistake stormwater drains for sewers, it causes many problems. While sewers are connected to the plumbing in our houses, stormwater catch basins are completely separate and flow directly into our public water supply. Polluted waterways can affect the quality of our drinking water, our wildlife, and the overall health of our city. So when you discard trash, fertilizers, or oils into these drains, it's bad news for Ducky and for you. Help keep our waterways clean.
Welcome back to Marlborough This Week. Employment Options held a press conference Friday to accept a donation from Synovian. After the donation was made by Synovian, Employment Options wanted to thank them with a luncheon.
Last year they donated money and time and energy, and we had an art show there at their facility, and now they're coming down here for us to acknowledge them. They've given us a $10,000 donation, and their staff came in a couple of months ago and didn't like our computers, and gave us all new screens. So it's just been an amazing partnership that we've had. So it's our way to thank Synovian. It's our way to say to people, thank you, what you do matters.
Synovian felt Employment Options was the perfect fit when they were deciding who they were going to donate money to.
One of the therapeutic areas that Synovian focuses on is mental illness, and we very much focus on treating the whole person, both with medicines, but also supporting services that are critical. And one of the things that Employment Options provides is critical, essential life skills in order to assist recovery. And that is something that Synovian is very, very pleased to support. So when we were looking towards giving back to the community, Employment Options was such a good fit for our company. It helps support the whole person and helps in the recovery of mental illness.
With the arrival of spring, Kane Elementary School has started up their walking school bus program in an effort to promote healthy living. Kane Elementary School's walking school bus program is up and running for the 5th year this spring. The walking school bus program was created to promote healthy living among students and also jumpstart the school day.
Well, the walking school bus is a program run through the Safe Routes to School program. It's a program that encourages parents to walk to school with the children. And we have 2 routes at Kane, one down Farm Road and one from the Wayside Racquet Club.
The walking school bus is a popular program for parents and students to participate in.
We just started last week and we had a glorious spring day. Today was a little bit chilly, so we had less kids, but generally we have about at least a dozen to sometimes up to 50 to 75 kids depending on the event.
Although most participants live within walking distance to school, Kane Elementary is looking to expand the program in order to create less bus stops and further the impact of healthy living.
We certainly try to encourage areas like over where Home Depot is. We have a lot of bus routes there, and we would certainly encourage those families where it's such a dense neighborhood to walk down maybe to Target or to create their own walking school bus within that neighborhood, and you could walk to a bus stop instead of having multiple bus stops.
The walking school bus occurs every Wednesday at 8:40 a.m. Starting points are Farm Road at Cook Lane and the Wayside Racquet Club. Marlborough now has a new way of keeping seniors safe and medical personnel properly informed. A new File of Life is now available to seniors in Marlborough. The File of Life is a valuable resource highlighting one's medical and contact information in a time of emergency. This document should be in your home as well as in your wallet or pocketbook to be accessible for both EMTs and other medical personnel. The red vinyl pouch contains the actual file, which is a pre-printed form that the participant will fill out with their most important medical information. The File of Life is available at the Marlborough Senior Center Outreach Department. If you would like a File of Life or need help filling it out, contact the Senior Center at 508-485-6492 and ask for Anna Christina. A gardener's dream come true. A new Marlborough community garden is being launched in May on Stowe Road. Marlborough's first community garden will launch this May for residents at the Cider Knoll Mellow Family Meadow Conservation Land. A 10 by 20 foot plot will allow gardeners to grow their own flowers or produce and maintain their own plot of land. After a couple years of planning, the Conservation Commission is happy to be answering residents' requests.
So we're starting the community garden because there's been, over the past 6 or 8 years, a lot of people have called and said, do we have a community garden? And we don't. And finally, enough people had called and we had the time, and the Conservation Commission agreed that we should pursue that. So that's what we're pursuing.
Councillor Joe Delano is very enthusiastic about the community garden plans.
Well, actually, it's in my ward, Ward 1. I had been talking to Priscilla about this, I think, for a couple of years. It's an idea that I had seen in neighboring communities. And I think these days with the push to try and do more locally, grow locally, buy locally, this is kind of an extension. Plus, I'm 100% Italian, and I don't have a great place to grow tomatoes. So this kind of kills a few birds with a couple of stones.
With the help of volunteers, the plots are ensured to be plant ready.
We have a volunteer who's tilling it for us, and then we're going to have volunteers from the Second Saturday group at Grace Baptist Church who are going to come and pull all the rocks out, which is going to be a big task because there's little rocks and big rocks. And then we have a Boy Scout who's going to be putting up a fence and getting that donated and installing that. And then we have lots of wood chips and a lot of volunteers who are going to be, creating the plots and getting them ready for planting.
Spaces are assigned on a first-come, first-served basis. With the high demand for garden plots, a lottery may be held to determine who gets the plots. Contact Priscilla Ryder at 508-460-3768 or by email at pryder@marlborough-ma.gov if you are interested in a community garden plot. Who do you believe deserves recognition for their hard work and dedication to the City of Marlborough? The Mayor is looking for your help. Mayor Arthur Vigent announced that nominations for the 2012 Humanitarian Award are now being accepted. Every year, the award is presented to a city resident who has demonstrated an outstanding commitment to serving and enriching the lives of friends, neighbors, and the greater community. Nominees must be a Marlborough resident, and a letter must be included stating a person's involvement in the community and reasons why the individual deserves recognition. Nominations must be received by the Mayor by 5 p.m. on April 23rd. The award will be presented at the Mayor's Charity Ball on May 5th. Thank you for watching Marlborough This Week. Please be sure to like WMCT on Facebook, and as always, tune in next week for more in Marlborough news. I'm Alicia Brandt. Have a great week.